2024, what outcome does your client want most of all? And it's about outcomes. It's about what people are looking for. You know, we talked earlier about the emotions. We talked about your prospects. You know, what your ideal client. What's the what are their fears? What are their frustrations? What are their aspirations? Those are the things that are tied into connection. Those are the things. Those are the buttons that you have to touch to make a connection. A lot of people are still just using properties and property descriptions to reach out for clients, and that's not it. I mean, that's not what it really takes to make that connection, to make you top of mind. And when you're talking about referrals and talking about generating referrals and orchestrating referrals, you need to be top of mind and be top of mind about real estate. Again, there is some top of mind discussion in the industry right now attached to some funny email services that they do everything for you and send stuff out, and they send out notices about Girl Scout cookies. Well, I guess if your ideal client is a Girl Scout leader, then that could work, but by and large, that's not something that builds your credibility, and is evidence. That's not evidence that you're a leader in your market. So even when you're looking at properties, I mean, copywriting matters. Let's look at a couple of points here that I want to make about that. It's not just about the features of properties either. It's about the benefits when you're talking about the properties. This goes back to Real Estate 101 years and years and years ago. And I think one of the problems that happened, and one of the things that happened, is a lot of discussion about fair housing. Now, fair housing is very, very important legislation. It's designed to protect people in the real estate market. But I think that a lot of people just got really scared about fair housing and just kind of like gave up and surrendered and just stopped really doing any decent marketing after that. Because a lot of marketing is just very property specific right now. It's write about the property, don't write about the people. Of course you have to be careful. You have to think about protected classes. You can't discriminate, but you can still talk about people. You can still strike emotional chords. You can still make connections, and not have to worry about that. I mean, think about features of a property. I mean, features of property are things that you put on a multi-list sheet. A fireplace is a feature. A pool is a feature. A kitchen is a feature in a house. Some people, get descriptive and they'll talk about a gourmet kitchen as if a gourmet kitchen is a descriptive feature. Let me just give you an example here. We'll take the word fireplace, and we know what a fireplace is. A fireplace is a place where you burn wood or you burn gas or something else. And what is a fireplace? I mean, when you write about a fireplace, what is it that will actually touch an emotional chord? It's something that will appeal to the senses. So when you write about a fireplace, what does it sound like? Fire crackles, fire. Sometimes fire roars when it's a big fire. And when you're writing about something, try to appeal to as many senses as you can. And whether you're writing about something in the multi-list service, or you're writing an ad for a homes magazine, or for description in an online site, keep this in mind and try to appeal to as many senses as possible. A fireplace has a sound. What does it feel like? What does a fireplace feel like? What does it feel like, to sit in a room where there's a roaring fire? What does it feel like to come in from out of the cold, and and feel the warmth of the fire? What does that feel like? How does your skin feel? How do you feel as a person? What are the things that you do with your body? Do you sink into a chair? Do you sit down? Do you pick up a book? What is it that happens? And what does that feel like? What does the fire smell like? I'm assuming it's not a gas fire at this point. Okay, I'm assuming you have a wood fire, and maybe there's a special kind of wood that you use. Maybe it's a hickory wood, or maybe you've got another flavorful type of a hardwood, and maybe there's a perfume that goes with that fireplace. What does it look like? Do the flames dance? What are the colors? How hot is the fire? Is it an orange fire? Is it yellow? Is there blue? What does it look like? And every time you talk about a feature in a house, you have similar types of opportunities to appeal to people's senses. What is the outcome that they want when they buy a house with a fireplace? Did they want a place where they're going to be cleaning up, wood shavings and whatnot? No. I mean, is it something that's just pretty to look at? Well, it can be, but what is a fireplace? What can that do? You can go through similar exercises about the pool, about the kitchen. What I suggest you do right now, as part of this exercise and as part of the field work, is go to a multiple listing property that you have right now, something that you have listed in your inventory. If you don't have a listing, then pick another one. And take a look at some of those amenities that are called by their name that don't go any deeper. And pick one or two and talk about that. If there's a yard, if there's a garden, what are the flowers? What colors are they? What do they smell like? When do they bloom? What kind of a fragrance is there? What kind of a perfume? There's a pool. I mean, there's so much that you can say about all of the senses to appeal to people that can be a fun exercise, just exploring a house through a description, through a virtual tour. Most multi-list descriptions, most property descriptions in single property sites, most of those are very, very uninteresting. They're very, very boring. They're very, very factual, and and if you're not looking for something just like that, who cares? But when it becomes something fun to read, because it's something that that tickles your senses, that makes you think about what a fire smells like, and a wood burning fire smells like, and what it feels like, what it smells like. I mean, then it becomes a journey, and when people see that as evidence of the way you market in your circle, when you post a listing like that has that kind of appeal to senses, then you are going to, people will be drawn to that. They will be drawn to read it just for the experience of reading that, because it's fun, and because people like to look at houses, and they really like to look at houses if there's a really interesting description. So do that. Go through your present active inventory right now and rewrite a bunch of that. See what emotions you can appeal to in your ideal client. Who's the ideal client to buy that house, and what are the emotions that person is likely to be feeling? What are the fears and frustrations of the ideal client who is likely to purchase that house? What are the aspirations of the ideal client who is looking for a house just like that? What are the words that apply that will evoke the emotions, that will register the fear, that will register the frustrations, that will, make the aspirations top of mind? And that's the kind of stuff that will keep you top of mind with the people in your circle when you show some type of evidence of thoughtfulness and creativity, and you touch people's emotion in copy that most people just don't pay any attention to at all. So think about that. Go to your listings, do a little tweaking, and and do some before and after. I'd love to see what your before and after looks like. Do a screenshot of what it looks like before, and then do a screenshot about what it looks like after, and send that along. That would be fun to do some brainstorming around some of that and sharing. And in the meantime, have a good day, and I'll see you in the next recording.